Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. So today I'm going to be using, or I have just put on these CRAFTSXNINE tips. They're 3XL stiletto, and I just did a soak off on Kendra and took off the last set we did, which was the green and black set. It's been 4 weeks, but that was her 4th set. So I'm just showing you some of the other products I'm going to be using today. She wanted red and butterflies, like I mentioned in my last video. She got a new red car, and she messaged me and said, "Do you have red butterflies?" And I said, "Do you know who you're talking to?" Yeah, if you asked me if I had a gargoyle, I'd say yes. I have everything you want for nails. Anyway, I'm going to talk just a little bit through this prep. So what I did so far was I soaked off her nails. Also, this week was Kendra's 1-year mark of having on nails for 1 solid year. She's been coming to me for over 2 years, but we had breaks in between, like I got sick, and I can't remember what other reason the year before that she didn't come for a little bit. But this set marks, she's had them on for 1 year steady, like never had them off except for when we're doing a removal and a like now. So I want you to take a look at how gorgeous her nails are. So I want you guys to know, if you're careful with your prep and you follow all the correct steps and procedures and you are doing everything right, your clients don't need to take a rest or a break to let their nails breathe or give their nails a break or anything like that that you hear people say sometimes. A lot of clients say it because they just don't know better. They've been going to the shops, they're used to being injured, or I don't know if injured's the right word, you know, just, yeah, I mean, they aren't the best with how they treat their clients. So anyway, I'm definitely not leading that sentence into trying to bash someone else. I'm only saying, if you're careful and you know what you're doing and you do it right, your nails can look like Kendra's here in pristine condition, even after 1 solid year of never taking the nails off, always having nails on except for a soak off and a reapplication. So when she came in and said she wanted the red butterfly set, I got out. I was glad that I had my red swatches done because I just pulled out my red swatch ring, and immediately she grabbed the color. She didn't even look at any others. She just said that one and pointed to this Empire style that I'm going to be using here, which I've never used at all except to swatch. So I was glad for that, because anytime I get to use one of my colors that I have, it makes me happy, especially just something really, really bright and vibrant like this one. Pardon me. She did decide to change her shape to coffin, and what she told me was that she wanted them to be so narrow, almost stilettos, but still in a coffin shape, just narrow, narrow, narrow. So you guys, I have like 2 drawers and a shelf full of tips, every shape, size, length, brand, just so many. And we literally looked at every single coffin and stiletto tip I have, because as you know, when you cut a stiletto, it turns into a coffin. And if you can find a really long, slim stiletto that are really narrow, like a 3 or 4XL, like I do have the Zulays 4XL stilettos, and the reason I bought them is because when you cut them at a usual client length, they still remain slim. So I thought we would use the Zulays until I got these out, and these CRAFTSXNINE tips are what I have here, and the only shaping I did was just to tailor them to her nail. You'll see I did a little bit of work to the sidewalls, but barely. So these tips are really, really good if you want a really narrow, nice trim coffin. I didn't show the length beforehand. I'll explain that in a second. But these were cut about in half. That's the length Kendra had. And again, I didn't have to do any narrowing to the sides. I just did a little shaping just to make sure they were what Kendra wanted. But I would have had to do much more of that with any other tip. Even the Kiara Sky C-curve coffin and the Knot Polish C-curve coffin, which are typically my favorite and what I use in my videos and on myself, because they are so narrow, but I leave them full length. So it's a totally different animal. It changes the shape completely when you cut it to a client's desired length. Almost no clients I know of wear them full length. I do have 2 clients that like them full length, but they can't wear them that way because of their job. In fact, when I put these on Kendra, she just really wanted them to stay the full length stiletto shape that they wear, because stiletto's her favorite. She does go back and forth between coffin and stiletto, but if given a choice, she wants stiletto. So she wanted me to keep them really, really narrow, and she just wanted them red. She wanted the butterflies. She usually likes her glitters and butterflies really packed in really a lot. Pardon me. But this time she said she just wanted a few on each nail so that they were sparse. They were just in there, like loosely. And then one solid, her accent finger to be one solid. And I mentioned in my other video, this is just what Kendra likes. She likes ombres and glitter encapsulation. That's what she likes for her sets. It just changes color and shape usually. It's either a stiletto or a coffin, and it's almost always this length, and she chooses a different color scheme for her acrylics. Sometimes she'll do all solids or marbles, but for the most part she does like some type of glitter, either a shape or just a solid glitter ombre down with the color she's choosing. So when you see anything a little bit different from her, when I'm doing her nails, she's really going outside the box. So before I started the video, what I did was I clipped off her green and black set. I filed them down, and then I did a soak off, and then I did normal prep where I removed all the rest of her set and did just normal prep to get ready for acrylic application. So at the part that I started this video, I had done prep, and the tips were on and shaped and blended to her nail. And before I went in with the acrylic primer, I had already done her cuticle area, all her cleanup, her nail plate cleanup. There was a tiny bit of clear layers still on her nail, acrylic meaning acrylic clear, that I laid the last time we did a set. And I had used Swipe to clean the nail plate, so I had removed, prepped, and dehydrated before I started the video. I have that plenty on my channel, and I wanted to put in more application and filing in this video, so I didn't leave any of that in. So that's why you saw it start there. The other thing is, if you guys have been watching recently, about 4 sets ago, so about 3 months ago, Kendra injured her hand really bad on a gate. She got her fingernail caught on a gate latch and bent it like all the way back, made her cry, bruised her natural nail bad. But the nail, the acrylic enhancement, did not budge. It didn't move at all. So what gave was her nail plate. She didn't have any crackings. She didn't have any lifting. And I mean, her natural nail didn't crack or split or lift from her skin or anything, but she got a bad bruise. And it's on the middle finger of her other hand. So besides that bruise that's still there, which is completely fine and healing, it's just some discoloration from, when you get a bruise, it turns green, brown, all these other colors. So right now it's like a greenish brown color, and it's about halfway grown out, a little more than halfway. So when we get to that hand, if you see the discoloration on her middle finger and you weren't watching any of the previous videos where I did show it up close and explain it to you guys, that's what that is. Other than that, her nails are pristine. And use my code Jen with CRAFTSXNINE if you want to go get these tips or anything from her. She's got great acrylics, and she's just a good people. Myra is over there. I'll leave my code and a link to her website in the description box, as well as my code with Not Polish if you want to go pick up this red. It's called Empire Style. Gorgeous. My code with them is Jen also. I'll leave that in the description box. And I am using Acrylic Cures Clear. Her website isn't back up yet, but will be shortly. I spoke to her not too long ago, and if you guys are looking to get anything from her, she will be back up soon. I'm going to link her stuff. Well, I guess I won't link it because you can't go to her shop yet, but if you guys know, you know. You're already tuned in with her. So I decided to keep the application. Okay, so I keep both part of one of the hands was not in frame, or I had to zoom in really, really a lot to be able to give you guys the footage. So I decided to leave the red acrylic application in real time, but the rest of the application, like the capping and the clear and the butterflies, is sped up 2 times. So you might see different speeds going along here. Also, when I get to the filing, I have some of it sped up and I have some of it in real time. And the buffing, I have some sped up and some in real time. And I'll mention when I get there why, so you guys can see my puppy's chewing on the sprinkler system. Hold on. No, baby. No. Here. Play with your toy. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. The joys of puppies. I've actually never had a puppy before. I think I also mentioned that in my last video, but he is super, 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 super cute and delightful and a joy and very lovable, and I just am already completely in love with his little self. Okay, so back to the nails. I want you guys to take a look, and the reason I left this in real time is I've said it many times before, and I did hear tips by Jennifer Landress. I hope I said, is it Landress or Landress? Said her name right, but she mentioned this. She's going to beauty school right now. She's getting her full cosmetology license. I'm so proud of her. She's been a stay-at-home mom for 19 years, and she always thought she wasn't going to have time and just wasn't, getting older or whatever she might have thought. But no, she made time, she figured it out, and she did it, and I just love that for her. But one thing she said in her most recent video, that she's been telling some of the students that she goes to school with, because they're all newbies, to nails. They know they want to do them, but they're not at the level that she is, because although she hasn't gone to, or she's just going to school now, she's been doing nails a long time. And one thing she learned in her journey is when you're teaching yourself not to waste money on cheaper acrylics. Like if you get a really cheap acrylic kit off Amazon, you're actually going to feel like you can't do nails, and you're going to struggle worse than if you just go right in and get a premium product to learn on. I agree with her on that 100%, having also been a few years into my journey, that had I not wasted money on a lot of other products and just gone straight to the good stuff, which in my opinion is not polish, I would have not had as many struggles as I did. I had acrylic that was drying up fast on me. I had acrylic that marbled. I had acrylic that was kind of pasty and muddy. I had acrylic that didn't match or work with certain monomers. I had acrylics that would stick to my brush, all kinds of struggles I didn't need to have, and all kinds of money that I spent that I didn't need to spend, had I just bit the bullet and thought, and didn't listen to other nail techs who say, don't waste your money on the bigger brands, don't waste your money on the premium stuff to teach yourself. No, I disagree strongly with that. So I say, if you're a beginner or an OG, try some not polish if you haven't already, guys, because look, this isn't a glitter acrylic that I'm working with here, and you can see it's still just like butter. I couldn't believe it when I put it on. When she chose this color, yes, I wanted to work with it. I've never used it before. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I did think, it's going to be all over in my brush. It's going to ruin my monomer. Look at my monomer. I mean, it's not. And each bead I can push right up into the cuticle area. It stays where I'm putting it. It's just butter. It works just as good as their other products, which is not true with a lot of other companies. And it is true with some other companies too. So I'm not saying they're the only premium brand, they're the only one that you should use. But if you are a beginner, try not to listen to the advice that you might hear that says, start cheap. Don't waste a bunch of money. And I would agree on don't waste a bunch of money on buying a ton of colors. Like, don't buy a whole collection and get 30 different colors of the rainbow. Just start with a clear, a nude, a pink, a white, and maybe one or two colors, because of course you want to do some sets and do something pretty and cute and everything. But when you're teaching yourself, you should be using good products, because it just is a waste of your time and money to start behind the 8 ball, where you have to struggle with things that you don't know you're struggling with. If you are brand new, you don't know that your acrylic is hardening up on you too fast, and it's the acrylic and not you that is having an error or making a mistake or making it hard. That definitely happened to me in the beginning. Definitely. I was also working in a very hot temperature, so I didn't know. I just thought I couldn't do it. I almost gave up. I just could not do an ombre to save my life. And I watched V over and over again just simply make a stroke with her brush, and she was, boom, she had it. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't do that. And it's because it was too hot. And I was also using some kind of brand that was similar to Kiss from Sally's. Just a clear acrylic. And some other nude, I can't remember. Maybe it was a pink. I can't remember, but it was definitely not a good brand or a well-known brand, and it might have been the local beauty supplies brand. I remember it was a pink or a nude because I was trying to ombre, and I mean, I was almost in tears. I just, day after day, kept trying it. And not only was the product bad, the brush was bad, the monomer was bad, the acrylic was bad, the towels I was using weren't good, I was in the heat. Just don't stack the deck against yourself. So Jen, when I heard you say that in your video, I want to reiterate it here for anyone who might not have saw your video, and vice versa. I agree with that 100%. If you guys are new and you're not using knot polish, or Young Nails also has amazing powders, only their cover colors though. They don't really have colored acrylics. They have glitters and some slick pours and or dip powders, but you don't want to do that either if you're trying to use colored acrylics or glitter acrylics like this one. Kiara Sky, same. They have a great clear. They have great other products, brushes, bits, all kinds of things. Primer, it's all I use, but just go with knot polish because you can get all the colors and all the nudes and all the glitters. Like, really, you guys. I don't care if you don't use my code. I don't care if you never, ever type my name in their websites. I'm not trying to make money off anyone when I say that. I'm just saying from experience, just go straight to them. And you just won't regret it. Also, when I get through all my clears, I will be teaching myself to use my knot polish clear. I know it's excellent. I know everyone loves it. I've seen Tao and V use it and make completely clear nails that are not cloudy. I've seen them encapsulate things. So I am working with it too dry. I am doing something wrong. So when you guys have heard me before say that I wasn't too fond of it, it's user error, you guys. So feel free to also get their clear. When I am done, I don't have any clients coming up. So on my next days off, I will be continuing my knot polish swatch series, which will be my purples are up next. So that's what video you can look forward to next. And when I'm done with my knot polish, after the purples, there's going to be browns and blacks, grays, silvers, whites. And then I will go into swatching all of my clears, and then I will swatch all of my chisel. So in between all of that, I will be doing that. Also, a little bit farther in this video, I will be shouting out another creator. I didn't shout out a creator in my last video, or did I? I shouted out Latina last, but I don't know if I shouted her out in the last video. I can't remember. But it will be the third tech I shout out, and I'll be back for that, and I'll let you guys watch. Hey guys, I'm back. So we're just about finished capping here, and I just love this clear. Not polished clear works the same way, by the way, but you can get nice beads, and they don't, I don't know, I noticed with a lot of clears, you can pick up the same kind of bead, and then when you start trying to manipulate it, it kind of just doesn't stay in one piece and kind of like makes you wipe it, if that makes sense. Whereas this and not polish will stay in a bead like your regular acrylic, if that makes sense. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm not explaining it right, but I explain things ad nauseum, so I won't do that in this case. If you know, you know. When we get into filing here, what I'm using is my medium barrel bit from Not Polished, which is super sharp, shaped really well. I'm using my Not Polished e-file, and I have it on a speed of 11. Yeah, I had it on 11. Because I don't need to do any debulking. I just need to, I kept the nails shaped very close to the way I wanted them, so I didn't need to debulk anything. So I'm just going to seal the cuticles and refine the shape before I go in with a 60/60 grit file. And the reason I use a 60/60 is not because the nails are super thick or I have a lot of work to do. It's just because it's quick. It makes it much quicker and easier, and you don't have to use so much pressure, even if you're just doing your sidewalls. So I was trying to think if I had anything to say about that, or if I can talk about my creator shout out. I think, sorry for the air silence. Okay, let me just look and see if I did have anything to say. I don't think so. Oh yeah, I do use another bit that was from a cart that I got years ago in like a package deal, like a little square clear box. I'm sure you've seen them. I've seen them on Temu even. They're called tungsten bits. And anyway, I use it for this one that I'm using here in this video. Not this one. This is the not polished one, but the one that you see me using to thin out the free edge. I want to mention to you guys, if you are using a bit, a long, slim, thin bit like the one I'm going to use here, which is a tungsten from a cart, that's what I was getting at. When I'm thinning out the underside of my free edge, if you have a clear nail when you do that, because you've put your bit underneath the nail where it should be clear, and you want to be able to see through that or have that area be transparent, and you've just dug out, like bored out some of the acrylic from underneath, you might have kind of like a gouge mark under there that could ruin your clear look underneath. The best way to handle that, you guys, that I have found out, is just put a layer of top coat under there, which if you have an encapsulated free edge of a clear nail anyway, it's always good to put top coat underneath your tip just for clarity. But as soon as you get a top coat on that, you won't see that mark that you made with your e-file, FYI. Because the first time I ever thinned out my free edge like that, I was like, oh my gosh, I just ruined the whole design, because now I have like a gouge underneath the nail. So don't sweat it. Don't sweat doing that. Just use some top coat under there and you'll be fine. Let's see what else. Okay, so now I'm going to start talking about the creator. I'm going to put her page right here. And it is none other than Tips by Jen, who I was just referring to in my video. I'm going to tag you here, Jen, and you guys, I'm going to put a link to her channel in my description box. If you're not already over there following her, go run. She is super creative. She, like I mentioned, has been a single mom for years and years and has just decided to go to school and better herself. And she's loving it. And she's going for her full cosmetology license. And she's interesting people. She's good people. She's so friendly. She's so supportive. And if you have a channel and you're not following her yet, she'll subscribe to you right back as soon as you sub her. So she will also give you love back. She's been with me. By the way, the filing is in real time right here because I wanted you guys to see that I am not as rough as it looks when I'm in sped up 2 times, by the way. Anyway, she's been with me since pretty much the beginning. I mean, as soon as I started my channel and started posting, I've been seeing her. She's in all my comments. She watches all my videos. She's, even though she doesn't have time for that, you know? So she's been a great support to me and a good friend, and I care about her as a person. I'm proud of her, and we should all run over there and show her some love and support and encouragement for just doing the damn thing. I am so proud of you, Jen, and keep up the good work. I can't wait to see that license. I can't wait to see you post it. I want to see it. So anyway, you guys go check her out. And her nails are good. She's got great nails. She really, really does good nails, and she's creative. Sorry, Jen, I lost my what I was going to say because it got really windy here, and then I was fighting off having another really bad throat clear, which I don't know what's been in my throat for a solid year. Anyway, Jen, I adore you, and if you guys aren't, the rest of you guys listening, if you aren't over there, go show her some love and jump on her page. And okay, so what's going on in the screen here is what? Let's see. Oh yeah, filing in real time, which I don't keep too much of this in, but I wanted to show you guys the angle you should be using to shape your sidewalls without giving it that hooked look, right where the natural nail meets the tip on your sidewall. If you know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. If you hold your file at the wrong angle, you're going to get that weird like dip in the nail right there, which I used to get every single time and not understand what I was doing wrong. I do also show you guys that I am always filing my client's nail from the client's perspective. It's just almost never in frame, and it was only like half in frame this time. And then because these nails are clear and dark both, and I used a 60/60 grit, I'm going to go in with my Profiles Backstage sponge buffer, and I have this in real time also right now, so you guys can see I'm going around her skin. This is extremely fine buffer. The sponge, because it's made of like a sponge, it will literally like grab and adhere to the sidewalls and the skin. I use this on the skin very gently to get any of the little bits of monomer and acrylic debris that you kind of get around your cuticle area and sidewalls of your natural nail and your client's skin off. This will just kind of buff it out, but you do have to be careful. You can't saw at it. You should only go in one direction, just real gently. Excuse me, like you see me doing here. That's why I'm going lengthwise like that. And I do go under the nail, I go around the cuticle. This is what I'm referring to right here. And you can see how that sponge is like grabbing her skin and grabbing the side of her nail. So this will get out all the scratches if there were any, which there were some, but for the most part, I kept the 60/60 file off the top of the nail, I think except on that thumb I showed you guys, because I didn't want the scratches, or I didn't want to have to get the scratches out, and I had already fine-tuned the top of the nail with my bit. And this is the tungsten McCart bit that I was telling you guys about to thin out the free edge, and you can see what I meant, that if you have this underneath the nail, it's easy to leave like a gouge or a mark there, and again, top coat will cure that for you. I'm going to jump off, I think, because we're just going to finish filing here. And a minute ago, I said that I used my file on top of the nail on the thumb, but I hadn't done the thumb yet. This is the one I was referring to. And you guys, I was just thinking, thank God I'm not like a teacher or a professor or a lecturer of any kind, because number one, I never get to the point. Number two, I'm long-winded. I just go on and on and on and on to make a small point. I over-explain things. Everyone in my classroom would just be like, literally screaming or getting up and walking out. Get to the point, stop saying, But also that for whatever reason, I don't know if it's you know, allergies or what it is, but I literally can't talk for more than like 3 or 4 minutes at a time, or even less, without having to clear my throat. Like there's something literally, and it's not like congestion. I don't know what it is, but my voice just will stop working and I have to cough or clear my throat. So that would be pretty embarrassing to like be in a public setting doing all that. So anyway, if I'm annoying, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be. So I think we're coming to the end here. Yeah, I'm just also showing you that this buffer will get out those scratches, even though they were pretty, you know, I had to go in pretty hard with this. I can't remember why I needed to do that on this nail. It's usually how I file. I love to completely do all my shaping with a hand file. I love that. I feel like nothing gets it better than that. And I think when I realized that I needed to do a little bit more on kind of the side area, that I would just go ahead, because I wanted to do that to all the nails. But, oh, here's where I'm doing it from the client's perspective. I have cut that step out of my routine because I will go in with my e-file and completely smooth out the nail, seal the cuticle, do all that, and then do that with the file again. So I should choose one or the other. Also, I had forgotten to put gloves back on during several stops and starts we had while doing this set, so pardon me if I have gloves on at some point and some point I don't. Also, I was noticing, since I'm zoomed in so far, that the product on my nails looks super thick when actually it's really not. It's a little thickety thick on my thumb toward the free edge, but that's normal when you're working with, it's hard, man, to get gel to be real nice and thin, especially if you're not like a gel person. So I went in with Gloss-It Top Coat, and when those come out of the lamp, I always crisp up my edges again. Then I'll wipe off the dust, and then I'm going to go in with some cuticle oil, and then I will also wipe her nails off with a paper towel to get to make sure her nails aren't oily looking for the pictures. So that's what you'll see coming up here. And we are finished. You guys go check out Jen. Go get some products from Not Polished or CRAFTSXNINE if you want. Use my code, and if not, I will see either way, regardless of what you guys do or don't do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all you guys' support, love, and time. We're just setting up for pictures here, and this is the end of the set, end of the video. Thank you guys for being here again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.